trailer trash king. Well, count me what you will, I ain't upscale, I know what you really mean. That's just life, now let's drive when you're the trailer trash king. I know what you really mean. That's just life, now let's drive when you're the trailer trash king.
Welcome to my world, they said. You live in your own little world, they said. What color is the sky in your world, Scotty? Well, here you go. Take a look around. This is what I deal with every single day of my natural-born life. Hi, I'm Scotty J. Welcome back to this installment of Trailer Trash TV. And we're going to start right out and kick right into it this time around with our... we're coming up on just about our final block. This is our final block of disaster films. And we're going to round it out. I actually start out this block with Omega Man. Excellent film, very underrated. Following that up with Soylent Green from 1973, and from that we're going to kick in to a fantasy film based on a Jules Verne novel, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea from 1961. And the last two trailers in this block of disaster films, or pseudo-disasters, early devastation of the Earth by way of a comet. This time in the form of a movie called Meteor from 1979. And rounding out this block, probably my favorite disaster-related film of all time. It's done in the early 1950s, 1951 to be exact. A George Pal production of something called When Worlds Collide. There's a message here to see if you can pick out what it is. We'll be right back.
Man on Earth is not alone. God, I forgot to keep the fuel up in the generator. They'll be into the garage. Is this not the place where all the dead were burned? Get the switches! Monster! Find the switches! Get those lights off!
Sam, it's left and step on it. Step on it.
In the year 2022, nothing runs anymore, nothing works, but the people are the same, and the people will do anything to get what they need.
This is the police!
What they need most is Soylent Green.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted. Return to your home.
For survival and try to solve the most bizarre riddle ever to face mankind. The search for the secret of Soylent Green. You will find out why Soylent Green means life. You will find out why Soylent Green means death.
We've got to stop them! Somehow!
Is the secret of Soylent Green.
Please!
Air sky catches on fire, the burning Van Allen belt threatening to destroy the universe. You are there in a deadly rain of disintegrating icebergs.
Bombs. It was called Orpheus, the Meteor.
That meteor is 5 miles wide and it's definitely going to hit us.
Your government developed the project to deal with this emergency.
It's 5 miles wide. It's traveling at a speed of 30,000 miles per hour. And there is no place on Earth to hide. Meteor. Rated PG.
Ours is a message of doom for this, our world. And now in the most shattering experience the screen has ever given you, Paramount tells what could happen within your lifetime when worlds collide. An astronomer checks and double-checks his horrifying discovery. A distant star racing through space toward an inevitable collision planet. The United Nations meet in emergency session. All conflicts pale before this threat from another world.
If you wait until the danger is visible to the naked eye, it will be too late to escape.
High on a mountaintop, an army of scientists work desperately to build this giant rocket, this modern Noah's Ark, to carry a few picked survivors of our doomed civilization to a new life on another world, reaching the heights of self-sacrifice, the depths of the animal lust for survival as they fight to be among the few who can be saved.
Let's take the ship away from them! Come on!
Fighting among themselves, fighting against time, as doomsday is upon them.
I think all you scientists are crackpots.
Nothing is going to happen.
When worlds collide, you'll see the most amazing, awe-inspiring scenes ever put on.
Whatever the future holds, whatever doom and disaster, audiences will continue to watch stories of human courage in the face of danger and the triumph of human spirit over adversity, which is why we can count on disaster striking again in the movies.
The Omega Man. Another in a run of many Last Man on Earth tales. Very, very well done for the time. Very ahead of its time. Going into Soylent Green from 1973. Still a disturbing story yet today, because you can see things going that direction. That's all I'm going to say about it. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea from 1961. Movie does not take too many liberties whatsoever. Based on a Jules Verne novel of the same title, as I said. And it works. It definitely works. It's a movie that didn't rely on CG. It relied on actors, humongous sets. They actually built an entire soundstage specifically for a couple of the scenes in this movie. Meteor from '79, yeah, it comes across as a made-for-TV movie, but that's the production value of the '70s. Still a very well-done story for the time. And rounding out this block, when worlds collide, you know, there's a lot of scare tactics being used by, I'm not going to mention names, but we'll just say the powers that be. About, we'll say terroristic threats, about wars, you know, you name it, and they're putting the fear into us. This movie, When Worlds Collide, in my opinion, shows what could and would happen if it went the full destructive mile. Something to think about. So with that said, we're going to take a break, and we're going to lighten things up a little bit, and we're going to kick into some Abbott Costello when we get back. See you soon.
Turn the handles, hear them click. You'll never know when you'll be hit. It's Pie Face. Ask your mom for some cream. Pilot high, it's a scream. Now you spin, watch the score. Never had such fun before. It's Pie Face. Something else you can do. Play the game without the goo. It's Pie Face.
Pie Face, the goofiest, funniest suspense game. Just reset the mystery handle, load the sponge with water, or ask Mom or Dad to put on topping or foam. The spinner tells you the turns to take. But watch out, it's Pie Face.
It's a game and it's new. Get your face full of goo. It's Pie Face.
With spinner, mask, and pie thrower. Fun for you and grown-ups, too. Pie Face from Hasbro.
The Adventures of G.I. Joe, the sinking capsule starring G.I. Joe and his action equipment. The G.I. Joe space capsule is down. Another mission complete. Frogmen and sea sleds are ready to help.
Capsule sighted. Prepare to pick up.
Suddenly, the capsule fills with water and sinks. G.I. Joe sailors in deep-sea diver suits are going to the rescue. In seconds, you attach a line to the capsule and pull it to safety. There's more trouble ahead. The capsule is radioactive. But here comes the G.I. Joe crash crew truck to wash down the capsule with a working pump. Kids, make up your own G.I. Joe adventures like the one you've just seen by getting any or all of this equipment. Capsule, deep-sea diver suit, frogmen, talking G.I. Joe. Make up a different adventure every day with G.I. Joe.
So as I was saying before we went to break, we gotta light things up a little bit after that last little downer of a spiel I gave you. My apologies, but we're gonna launch into, we're just about 2/3 of the way through our Abbott Costello trailers for the season, and we're gonna launch into a trilogy of trailers from 1952. Not the greatest year for films. So I'm guess I'm just going to launch into them. We're going to start. The first one is a very fun movie, don't get me wrong. The first one, Jack and the Beanstalk from 1952. A fun, family-oriented retelling of the classic fairy tale. It still works. Lost in Alaska from 1952. There's a couple of funny sight gags in here, but kind of a flat movie overall. And then the third and final Abbott Costello trailer in this block, Abbott Costello Meet Captain Kidd, also from 1952, starring one Charles Lawton. So, with that said, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to chat.
No picture has been more eagerly awaited. Who will portray the gallant and heroic Jack?
Only one actor has the bearing, the stature, the Olympian fortitude. And here he is.
When I am in the right, whoever pushes me around will find me full of fight.
Yes, Jack and the Beanstalk is on the screen. But something new has been added to the best blood legend of all time.
Why, you greedy boy.
What do you mean?
What are you doing with the giant's jewels and my Nellie?
Never mind that. Swing me out of here.
Take your time. There's no rush.
What do you mean? Quiet. Quiet, my little gold mine.
Nellie, let me see the jewels.
Oh, no. They're mine. All mine. I share them with no one. I come a long ways with... Oh.
It's a tinklefoot. I have not seen a fish like that since I seen a pork chop in the window. And you have no fear. Polly and I, we chained the giant up down in the dungeon. He can't get away because I left him...
Bud Abbott and Lou Costello in Lost in Alaska. The hilarious saga of a couple of squares let loose in the Arctic Circle. And maybe that isn't a mistake. Co-starring Mitzi Green, a heat wave who melted the North Pole down to an icicle.
So although a blizzard may blow the zero out of sight, there'll be a hard time in the igloo tonight.
Tom Ewell, the sensation of up front, funnier up north.
He's drowning himself again.
With Bruce Cabot, the meanest villain who ever hatched a vicious plot.
We're partners. You marry Joe, I make you a widow, then we divide the $2 million.
I'll have mush. Oatmeal! I said mush.
It's mush, and Iceberg Lou and Blubber Bud are off on the wildest dash ever. With an Eskimo beauty on their hands, a playful polar bear on their trail, a seal near their fishing hole, and half the Yukon gunning for them and a fortune in gold.
Save the gold!
Save the gold! No, no, save yourself. Come on back over here.
What am I doing with a bottle of iodine?
You're always getting yourself into something. What's the matter with you? Honest, folks, we're not really the pirates. We couldn't be pirates.
I'm afraid to be a pirate.
You're afraid. You're a fraidy cat. I'm afraid of no man.
No man at all?
No man at all.
Aren't you even afraid of a kid?
Not even a kid.
You're afraid of no kid?
No kid. No kid. Captain Kidd.
Holding a girl is something you won't forbid. No, sir, he never did. Not if we first let her meet Captain Kidd.
Yes, sirree, mates. Unfurl the binnacle, scuttle the barnacle, and swab the skipper. Because you're sailing into a gale of laughter and heading for Pleasure Island. Lou's a sea wolf in ship's clothing. And what a kisser. What a kisser. Bud's an old son of a sea cook, all mixed up in a pirate stew. And wait till you see Charles Lawton as Captain Kidd. When the boys get through with him, he's the only pirate to ever have a nervous breakdown.
This thing's driving me crazy. He went that way.
And rounding out a fun-bound crew for an exciting cruise through dangerous waters and to mysterious isles is Hillary Brooks, Van Warren, and Life Erickson.
We weren't in danger before until we were safely on shore.
I'm north of nowhere, south of someday.
I'd rather go in her quarters.
We're going to Captain Kidd's quarters.
He don't appeal to me.
Ooh. Ah. Oh. Ah.
No, sir, he never did. Not if we first let her meet Captain Kidd.
Okay. So, I guess the high point of the three, in terms of entertainment, would have to be the, hang on. See, once you get to certain people's age bracket, yeah. But Jack and the Beanstalk, I think, was the most entertaining of the three films, just for the family aspect of it. It was a funny film overall, now that I thought about it. And Lost in Alaska, Still an overall flat film, but kind of a surprising film. This last one, Abbott, Costello Meet Captain Kidd, starring one Charles Lawton. It was a rather funny take of the traditional classic pirate movies, and enough said. So before I toss this to break, I gotta give some shout outs. As you've seen by some of the previous shows, Trail Trash has got somewhat of a new look for at least a few shows anyway. And I have a lot of people to thank for that. I gotta thank, obviously Northwest Community Television, #1, for continuing, as I've said in past years, continuing to let me in the building. And for set design for at least a good, we'll say 6, 7, 8 shows, however long it goes. I gotta thank Tim McCoy for the CG and set design this year, and for this section anyway. Those of you who don't know who Tim McCoy is, he's a fellow producer at Northwest Community TV. He's got a tremendous show. And check the listings on Channel 18. Tim, I apologize. I forgot when the show was on, honest to God. But the show, it's KPPL Cable Radio, TV for the Mind, hosted by one Larry the Hand. A fascinatingly, bizarrely entertaining show. This is why I have an appreciation for it. So, with that said, I gotta take a break. So go check on the pizza. Make sure that's not burning. Grab yourself a cold one, and I'll be right back with Troma.
Too. It's so easy. Just phone your airline. They take care of everything for anywhere. Come on, everybody. Let's fly. It's fun.
Yes, fly. Millions travel by air. Why don't you?
Mom and Dad, Susie and Joe, like to fly wherever they go. They phone their airline to reserve their space and find they can fly to most any place. Inexpensively, too, on a low-fare plan. Why don't you go by air? Anyone can.
This is the clown who never smiled. Nothing could make him smile. Not monkeys, or birthday cakes, or racing bikes with double handbrakes. Nothing could make him smile. And then one day, a little bird told him about a wonderful magical thing, a tablet called Fizzies.
Hey, Mr. Clown, watch me. Just drop me in a glass of water. I make the best-tasting sparkling drink. And I come in 5 delicious flavors: grape, orange, cherry, lemon, lime, and strawberry. Watch me go. You gotta look quick. Whoop. Bye.
So the clown tried Fizzies. It tickled his ear, it tickled his nose, it tickled his taste. And he started to smile, and he smiled till the smile spread all over his face. Whee, said the clown, that's a tippy-top drink. Fizzies for me. Fizzies are delicious, healthful, enriched with vitamin C. No sugar to add, safer for children's teeth, won't spoil appetites. No bottles, no pitcher, no mess. Get Fizzies.
Here's Tommy, 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's daydreaming already. He's wondering what it would be like to have breakfast with Captain Strong at the Space Academy. Well, Tommy, why don't you step through the picture and find out? And take along that box of Pep. Swell treat for the cadets. Welcome change from food capsules. Tell them Pep is an honest-to-goodness taste thrill. And most important, Kellogg's Pep gives you more builder-upper food values than any other wheat flakes. More sunshine vitamin D, more vitamin B1, more food values that help build stronger muscles. And that's what a space cadet needs. Just look at that marvelous multi-flavored Pep. How about it, Captain Strong? Pretty sensational, huh? Uh-oh, time sure slips by, doesn't it, Tommy? And now you've got to say so long. It was a lot of fun, though, even if it wasn't for real. But better snap out of it, because there's lots more fun ahead. A busy day. So you're smart if you help build up strength and energy with the Build Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
So, okay. Troma Films. Out of the East Coast. Tromaville.com being their website. If you missed it, you'll see it again at the end of the show. But a very fun film company. They're high on comedy. They're classic in the terms of the B-movie, both horror, comedy, otherwise. They're known particularly for their TNA and their splash. Unfortunately, you're not going to see any of that on Trailer Trash. Hopefully not much, anyway. So with that said, we're going to launch into the Troma block this week, a movie called Bug to start things out, followed by a very bizarre, rather surreal film. Doesn't appear to have any real direction. Sound familiar? A movie called When Nature Calls. And rounding out this block with a classic, okay, maybe not classic, that'd be a stretch, early 1980s Troma vehicle called Waitress. So with that being said, check out Troma, and we'll be right back with probably my favorite segment in past years of Trailer Trash TV, that being the Classroom Classic.
Bedford Exterminators, can I help you?
Calling the exterminators usually results in the annihilation of all unwanted vermin on the premises. In Bugged, the only unwanted vermin is man.
Yeah, but is that stuff safe?
Of course, it's perfectly safe. Priscilla Basquet stars as a beautiful homemaker who wants to rid her house of disgusting bugs, only to discover that her home is a spawning ground for really big, disgusting bugs.
You know, these bugs started showing up right after you guys sprayed the first time.
Well, it looks like we've underestimated our bug friends. They're obviously intelligent, probably more so than we.
Troma Studios presents Ron Armstrong's Bugged, the greatest horror comedy of the year. It's terror from Troma you'll never forget. Only the neighborhood exterminators can stop the cockroaches from taking over. Incesticide, pesticide, none of the bugs are on your side in Bugged. They exterminate you. From Troma, of course.
Once in a lifetime, a motion picture comes along that forever alters the course of cinema history. A film so profound that it touches you in places you've never been touched before. In the tradition of the great love stories with their searing emotions. In the tradition of the great gangster films with their fast women and faster vehicles. In the tradition of the great fight films with their hard-hitting dialogue. We now bring you a new milestone in film history. The first film to have it all.
Check it out.
When Nature Calls. Is a comedy that takes you away from the hustle and bustle of the big city.
I'll have one with everything.
And brings you to the beauty and tranquility of the untouched wilderness. When Nature Calls has innocent young love and strong adult issues. Whew. When Nature Calls, out animals, Animal House.
You're a big one, aren't you?
It's G. Gordon Liddy.
You know, the human will is an amazing power.
It's tender and classy. It's wrestler Fred Blassie. It's wild and crazy. It's John Cameron Swayze. It's a laugh riot in all your favorite ways. It even has Willie Mays and Maury Amsterdam and Myron Cohen and Weejan the Indian.
Uh-oh. He's calling himself Weejan now. His name is Eugene.
It's daring. It's thrilling. When nature calls, you gotta go. When nature calls is calling you.
To an ordinary day in one of New York's most prestigious restaurants.
Put on my best dress.
We cordially invite you to the wildest, wackiest comedy of the year.
Waitress!
Yes, it's Waitress. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, you must see this movie.
She's alive! I know what's wrong and what's right.
Tulip, a turnip, roast.
If you've ever eaten in a restaurant, you must see this movie.
Tell me, tell me,
Can't crown the king in his cathedral.
Waitress is about young people who work in restaurants while they pursue other careers.
Are you getting all this?
Andrea,
We don't have it.
your friendly waitress by day, Shakespearean actress by night. Jennifer, efficiency expert by day.
Do you have the time?
Oh, sure.
And searching investigative reporter.
How tall did you say you were?
6 feet and 11 inches.
I like it kinky.
Did you say kinky? Kinky? Did you hear that, too, Henry? He likes the kinky.
When will we begin?
And Lindsay, a rich little hot pants who gives new meaning to ladies' hose.
That'll teach you to break up. Stay with me. Oh, no, Daddy. Please, please. You wouldn't really make me be a...
Waitress!
Yes, Waitress is a laugh riot that's good, clean, fun.
Where's the cash?
Oh, that's right, Jerry. Treat me rough. I love it.
Waitress, the menu has music
And they're all hanging out instructed prices.
and romance.
We get the heat. Now it's all time we look for a place to meet. Well, I can get it anyway.
Waitress is a love story that will warm you and electrify you. Come see the film that's packing them in all over the country. Drop what you're doing and see Waitress. It's the movie everyone is rushing to see.
I told you to serve those rolls.
Want me to serve some rolls? I'll serve some rolls.
Waitress will soon be serving at a theater near you. Waitress.
The Classroom Classic has been hailed, has been revered, has been named, God forbid, some of the most original programming viewers have seen in recent years. They evidently forgot the stuff they were subjected to in high school. These were the lucky ones. The Classroom Classic, as I've said before, for those of you that are, God forbid, new to Trailer Trash, I don't know what possessed you to turn over, but the Classroom Classic is my salute to the classic education films that you were all subjected to in whether it was elementary school, junior, senior high. But this time around, I'm predominantly doing social guidance films and driver's ed films this time around. So we're going to kick into something called Good Health Practices, a real cheesy color film. Don't sneeze on the guy next to you, and don't wipe your hands on your sleeve. Don't wipe your nose on your sleeve, that type of thing. Following that up with something called Your Permit to Drive. kind of a surreal black and white early driver's ed film in the respect that the narrator of this film is allegedly the voice of the permit. You figure out the logic. I've tried to figure out the logic. You see what it did to me. With that said, I'm going to sign off for this installment of Trailer Trash TV. I've been your host, Scotty J. And sjtrailertrash at Yahoo is the email. Please let me know what you think. trailertrashtv.150m.com is the website. There, boom, you see it at the bottom of your screen. With that said, let me know what you think. Thank you for your continued support. We'll see you next show.
Did you ever think how much fun it is just to be alive when you feel healthy and well? Judy and Jim are well almost all of the time because they follow good health practices. And because they are healthy, they have fun almost all of the time, doing all kinds of things. Of course, anyone can have fun playing in the snow or at the beach, but Judy and Jim have fun doing their work too because they are healthy and well. Good eating practices help Judy and Jim stay healthy and well. Jim knows that his body must have food, just like an automobile must have gasoline. Gasoline is the fuel that a car's engine must have to keep running. The engine uses the fuel to make power to move the car. To go fast on the highways, to climb steep hills. Your engine needs fuel too. Food is the fuel that you must have to get strength for play and for work. Your body uses fuel all of the time, even when you're sleeping. Yes, brain work takes a great deal of fuel. Different foods must go together to make the best fuel for you. Mothers know how to put these foods together to make healthful meals. When the foods are together the right way, we call it a balanced meal. See if you can name the foods in the balanced meal that Judy serves to Jim. Young children don't have to know all the ways that food should go together. Your job is to learn good eating practices. First, eat slowly and chew thoroughly. Food makes the best fuel when it is eaten slowly and chewed thoroughly. Second, eat all of the food that is served to you. Then you won't run out of fuel when your engine needs it most. Third, don't eat too many sweets. Sweets are party food for special times. Fruits always are a good dessert. And fruit helps you to follow good toilet practices. Here is another way in which you are like an auto. There is always some waste to get rid of when the engine uses fuel. That's why cars have exhaust pipes. There is always waste to get rid of when your engine uses the food you eat for fuel. Good toilet practices means getting rid of the waste at the right times in the right ways. It's a very important practice to wash your hands each time after going to the toilet. Jim and Judy go to the toilet after breakfast each morning and before going to bed each night. You should follow the practice of going at regular times like this. But of course, you should go at other times too. Always go to the toilet when you feel like going. Don't be bashful or silly about toilet habits. Remember, an engine can't run when the exhaust is stopped up. Some foods help to keep you from getting stopped up. It's a good toilet habit to eat plenty of fruits, green vegetables, hot cereals, and dark bread. They all help you stay clean inside. Staying clean inside and outside is a part of being healthy. So, staying clean is another important health practice. Judy and Jim bathe before breakfast each morning on school days. Some people bathe before bedtime each night. It isn't so important just when you bathe, but washing all over once a day is a fine practice for good health. Keep your hair clean. Long hair like Judy's needs extra washing and brushing to be clean and glossy. In clean clothes, fresh as a daisy, Judy is ready for school. Jim likes a shower better than a bath. Either one is fine, so long as you use plenty of soap and plenty of hot water and plenty of elbow grease, like Jim is doing. Jim does a good job of washing his hair, too. Spick and span in his clean clothes, Jim is ready for morning inspection. Do you think Jim will pass inspection? Well, let's see. Neck clean? Yes, indeed. Ears? No dirt there. Now, what about those hands? Clean as a whistle. Jim follows good practices in keeping his hands clean. Hands will get dirty. So remember, after playing games, after playing with animals, and always after going to the toilet, wash your hands with plenty of soap and hot water. Wash your hands before handling food. Before setting the table. And especially before brushing your teeth. Can you think why these before rules are so very important? Keep your fingernails short and clean. When dirt gets under your nails, even soap and water can't wash it out. It takes some digging to get nails as clean as Jim's. Now, who is this? A football player. And who is this topsy-turvy person? Why, it's Judy, having fun at the beach. Yes, the beach is a wonderful place to have fun, if you are careful to guard against sunburn, and if you don't get too tired. You know, even a football player needs to rest once in a while. When you are tired, you're like a toy car with its spring run down. Rest is what winds the springs so you will be ready to run again. It looks like Jim's spring is wound up already. Looks like Jim is all ready to run again. There, you see? Jim is not tired now. But good rest practices mean resting when you should rest, not just when you feel tired. On vacation days, when they're playing hard, Judy and Jim take a rest after lunch. They take it easy for at least an hour to give their food a chance to digest. Then they're ready to play again until it's time to go home. Getting plenty of sleep is the most important rest practice. Young people need much more sleep than grown-ups. And remember other health practices when you get ready for bed. Going to the toilet to stay clean inside, washing with soap and water to stay clean outside, and brushing your teeth to keep them clean are good health practices to follow every night at bedtime. Being clean, outside and in, helps you to get a good sleep. Your body rests better when it is clean. A healthful, balanced supper helps you get a good sleep, too. And while you sleep, your body will use the food to build strength for another day. You see, health practices go together to build strong bodies for work and for play. There are so many beautiful and interesting things in the world to see and to do. Why not let good health practices help you to happy days all of your life?
I am your permit to drive an automobile, your license to use the highway system of the United States. I am only a card in your wallet or purse, yet I unroll before your eyes a magic carpet, the millions of miles of highways and byways that crisscross the nation. I am your round-trip travel ticket, your passport to pleasure. With me, you can motor from the Atlantic to the Pacific, from the Gulf to the Great Lakes. You can travel with me as your only identification. I am the only commuter's ticket you need to drive to and from school or work, day after day, year after year. I have become vital to more than 50 million people in this land of ours. I am their constant companion. I go with them wherever they go. The farmer on his way at sunup, the bus driver, the truck driver, the ambulance driver, the policeman, the cab driver. No matter who they are, no matter where they are, I am with them. With me in their possession, the drivers of our millions of rubber-tired vehicles help keep turning the wheels of our national economy, whether they roll over highway or city street. For in the past 25 years, driving has opened the gate of commerce between city and farm, factory and consumer. With me in their possession, the daily life of millions has taken on new meaning. The family, the individual, has a freedom of movement so new, it did not exist in the youth even of our own parents. For the automobile has brought with it, in less than a lifetime, a new way of life, a new standard of living, a standard of living matched by no other nation in the world. Because of the automobile, new industries have taken their place on our national landscape to add billions to our wealth by providing goods, services, and job opportunities undreamed of only yesterday. Our whole way of living has become geared to the automobile. I am your permit, your license, your permission to drive. I am a privilege and an obligation. Your obligation to drive skillfully, carefully, and legally. This year, there will again be thousands of innocent victims of those who will not recognize this obligation. I will be among the last papers of tens of thousands who will have no further use for me. and I may be merely a means of identification of almost 1 million whose injuries may be permanent. 1 million accident victims whose numbers contain twice as many 15 to 24-year-old drivers as any other. Over and over, I ask myself, why? Is it the supposed thoughtlessness of youth that takes such a toll? Is it inexperience that leads to the taking of foolish chances? Is it the failure of adults to teach the young people the right way to drive? Or is it my fault? Have I allowed myself to become taken for granted? I try to tell people when they write their names across my face that they're signing more than a signature, that they are signing a pledge to be the kind of driver they want others to be. I try to tell people that as a nation of more than 50 million drivers, we owe to each other the courtesy, the fair play each of us expects. As a nation, we set great store by sportsmanship. Almost all of us at some time play the game. And no matter what the game may be, it has its rules. Rules of courtesy and fairness and sportsmanship. Rules that determine the pattern of action of all who play. Each game has its code of rules, and each set of rules is known and respected by all who play and all who watch. We have come to demand fair play and sportsmanship in all things, great and small. It has become second nature, for example, for those who play golf to allow others to play through. For the bowler to carefully avoid the almost invisible foul line. For the runner to stay in his lane. The same rules of sportsmanship apply to driving an automobile. Unfortunately, there are drivers amongst us who are poor sports, drivers who can dish it out, but can't take it. They are the reckless, who cause the accidents that maim and kill. They are the offenders whose invasion of the rights of others may lead to curtailment of their own rights. For remember, I am your permit to drive, not your right to drive, for you are entitled to drive only as long as you abide by the rules of driving. The rules of driving are fundamentally simple, based on common sense. Common sense safety for yourself and for others. When you're walking, for instance, say by yourself, or even with a few other people on a country road, there's room to spare, and walking is no problem. But this milling throng in the heart of a great city can represent the traffic problem of today. When you look down on it, there's not much difference between a jam of people and a jam of automobiles. But when you look closely at the people, when you get down among them, you'll find there's a vast difference. As members of a group of civilized human beings, each going about his own individual business, there is a smooth surge of motion, a unity of action, and there's respect for the rights of others, a polite avoidance of contact, wholehearted cooperation, and courtesy. So it can be with the milling throng of automobiles across our land. So it can be with you. Staying off the white lines, waiting for the green lights, stopping at the stop signs, slowing down in school zones, observing the traffic signs, and thinking while you drive about your driving, keeping your mind on your driving and your eye on the road. The thinking driver, the alert driver, takes no chances with the lives of himself and others. The alert driver can avoid accidents. He can slow down, for instance, in time to protect himself and others, in time to avoid the aggravation of minor damage, damage that costs money and denies the use of the car. You pay the cost of the driving mistakes of others, and they of yours, in more stringent traffic regulations, in higher insurance rates. Perhaps the poor driver never learned the proper way to drive. You have more opportunity than he. You have the opportunity to learn the right way to drive, the opportunity to avoid the mistakes and habits acquired by others. As a good driver, you will live to enjoy all the fruits of good driving. For I, your permit to drive, and the open sesame to a lifetime of new experience, a lifetime of new beauty. I bring wings to your feet, a freedom of motion you will learn always to cherish. I bring pleasure and responsibility, the responsibility to drive well. I urge you to guard what I stand for I permit you to drive.